When I was a kid, the disaster we worry about most was a nuclear war. That's why we had a barrel like this down in our basement filled with cans of food and water. When a nuclear attack came, we were supposed to go downstairs, hunker down, and eat out of that barrel. Today, the greatest threats of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this. If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's more likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. Not missiles, but microbes. Now, part of the reason for this is that we have invested a huge amount in nuclear deterrents, but we have actually invested very little in a system to stop an epidemic. We are not ready for the next epidemic. Let's look at Ebola. I'm sure all of you read about it in a newspaper. Lots of tough challenges. I followed it carefully through these cases analysis tools we use to track polio eradication. And as you look at what went on, the problem wasn't that there was a system that didn't work well enough. The problem was that we didn't have a system at all. In fact, there's some pretty obvious key missing pieces. We didn't have a group of epidemiologists ready to go who would have gone seeing what the disease was, see how far it had spread. The case reports came in on paper and were delayed before they were put online, and they were extremely inaccurate. We didn't have a medical team ready to go. We didn't have a way of preparing people. Now, medicines of frontiers did a great job orchestrating volunteers, but even so, we're far slower than we should have been getting thousands of workers into the countries. And a large epidemic could require us to have hundreds of thousands of workers. There was no one there to look at treatment approaches, no one to look at the diagnostics, no one to figure out what tools should be used. And an example, we could have taken the blood of survivors, processed it, and put a plasma back in people to protect them. But that was never tried. So there was a lot of were missing, and these things are really a global failure. The WHO is funded to monitor epidemics, but not to do these things I talk about. Now in the movies, it's quite different. There's a group of handsome epidemiologists ready to go. They move in, they save the day, but that's just pure Hollywood. The failure to prepare could allow the next epidemic to be dramatically more devastating than Ebola. Let's look at the progression of Ebola over this year. About 10,000 people died, and nearly all were in the 3 West African countries. There's 3 reasons why it didn't spread more. The first is there was a lot of heroic work by the health workers. They found the people and they prevented more infections. The second is the nature of the virus. Ebola does not spread through the air. And by the time you're contagious, more people are so sick that they are bedridden. Third, it didn't get into many urban areas, then that was just luck. If it gotten into a lot more urban areas, that case number would have been much larger. So next time we might not be so lucky. You can have a virus where people well enough while they're infectious that they get on a plane or they go to a market. The source of the virus could be a natural epidemic like Ebola, or it could be bioterrorism, and so there are things that would literally make things 1,000 war. In fact, look at the model of a virus spread through the air, like the Spanish flu back in 1918. So here's what would happen. It would spread throughout the world very, very quickly, and you can see this where over 30 million people died from the epidemic. So this is a serious problem. We should be concerned. But in fact, we can build a really good response system. We have the benefits of all the science and technology that we talk about here. We've got cell phones to get information from the public and get the information out of them. We have satellite maps where can serve where people are and where people are moving. We have advancing biology that should dramatically change the turnaround time to look at pathogens and be able to make drugs and vaccines that fit for the pathogen. So we can have tools, but those tools need to be put into an overall global health system, and we need preparedness. The best lessons, I think, on how to get prepared are again what we do for war. For soldiers, we have full time waiting to go. We have reserves that can scale us up to large number. NATO has a mobile unit that can deploy very rapidly. NATO does a lot of war games to check out people well trained. Do they understand about fuel and logistics and the same radio frequency, so they are absolutely ready to go. So those are the kinds of things we need to deal with an epidemic. What are the key pieces? First, we need strong health system in poor countries. That's where mothers can give birth safely, can get all the vaccines, but also where we see the outbreak very early. We need a medical reserve. Comes a lot of people who have got the training and background who are ready to go with the expertise. And they will need to pair those medical people with the military, take advantage to military ability to move fast, logistic, and secure areas. We need to do simulations, germ games, not war games, so that we see where the hell are. The last time germ games were done in the United States were in 2001, and it didn't go so well. So far, the score in the jobs 1, people 0. Finally, we need lots of advanced R&D in the areas of vaccines and diagnostics. There are some big breakthroughs like adeno-associated virus that could work very, very quickly. Now I don't have an exact budget for what this would cost, but I'm quite sure it's very modest compared to the potential harms. The World Bank estimates that if we have a worldwide flu epidemic, global wealth will go down by over $3 trillion, and we'll have millions and millions of deaths. These investments offer significant benefits beyond just being ready for the epidemic. The primary health care, the R&D, those things would reduce global health equity and make the world more just as well as more safe. So I think this should absolutely be a priority. There's no need to panic. We don't have to afford cans of spaghetti or go down to the basement. But we need to get going because time's not our side. In fact, if there's one possible thing that can come out of the Ebola epidemic, is that can serve as an early warning, a wake-up call to get ready. If we start now, we can be ready for the next epidemic. Thank you.